We saw the Caitlin Clark effect. We saw the influx in fans.
People were willing to pay up to see this preseason game has now set the new ticket price high for anything that Caitlin Clark, any game she has played in.
Can we all agree that Caitlin Clark's WNBA preseason is one for the record books? The ticket prices have gone up a notch as Clark broke yet another record, and Indiana Fever supporters are throwing money like it's the NBA Finals, but it's not preseason yet. Now that tickets have gone on sale, wallets are emptying like it was Black Friday at Amazon, and once more, Caitlin Clark is at the center of a sports moment, so it's likely still recovering. In this video, we're breaking down 5 records that she broke in half before the regular season had a chance to stretch.
Average paid price of $440 per ticket. Somebody moves the needle when people are willing to pay ginormous amount of money. Is that a word? A massive amount of money to see Caitlin Clark play.
Let's be clear, this was a glorified warm-up game, a preseason match, not some primetime matchup with championship implications. What made it different, though, was the excitement that made it feel like a Game 7. As Caitlin Clark on the court, the front office in Indiana is working like spies to create a grand scheme to make this team into a WNBA powerhouse, with Clark as its gem in the crown. It's a sporting coup, not a strategy.
The WNBA saw a boom like we have never seen. We saw Caitlin Clark come into the league. We saw the Caitlin Clark effect. We saw the influx in fans who flooded to the WNBA, and many of those were there for Caitlin Clark.
Still pondering why this issue persists, we're going to analyze the precise moment Caitlin Clark made preseason basketball a national event. Here are the 5 records she recently broke. If you're already a CC fan, feel free to leave a record-breaking remark.
Caitlin Clark, in that, has become arguably the most influential basketball player in the world, both on the men's and the women's side.
Let's begin with the astounding $440 statistic. Fans were often paying that much for tickets to watch Caitlin Clark and the Fever play Brazil's national team in a friendly exhibition, but with Clark involved, the atmosphere at the Carver was everything but relaxed. Another record was set when Clark played in Hawkeye Arena, her own coliseum, where she created collegiate history, and when ESPN broadcast a WNBA preseason game for the first time ever.
Iowa's Carver Hawkeye Arena is the most in-demand event involving Clark, with a, quote, average paid price of $440 per ticket.
Even more astounding is the fact that she broke her own record for the highest ticket average of $411, which was established during her now famous game versus Ohio State on March 3rd, when she broke Pete Maravich's all-time college scoring record, which was a momentous occasion. But now we're here smashing those figures during a preseason game. Some people go viral after Clark does it, and the prices range from 146 nosebleeds to 6,000 courtside for a high roller. And guess what? The arena sold out in 15 minutes. That's not a crowd, that's a movement.
Good luck finding affordable tickets for the Indiana Fever preseason game against Brazil at Carver Hawkeye Arena. Seats at the arena for the May 4th matchup between the Indiana Fever and Brazil were first offered to season ticket holders and a few top donors. It didn't take long for them to be gone.
Additionally, remember that this is her second year in the WNBA. Usually players experience a decline in attention following their first season, but Clark's fame has turned into the force of gravity. What we're seeing isn't a passing trend. Rather, it's a seismic shift in the balance of power and excitement in this league, and she's not peaking.
Ain't nobody paying $8,100 to watch Angel Reese play ball, especially when there are tickets. There was a ticket available for $29. $29 to see Angel Reese and the Chicago Sky play at the LSU.
Clark is now in her own lane, and the scary part is that she's only getting better. The preseason hasn't even begun, and she's already distorting the league's economy. Returning to Iowa wasn't just sentimental, it was seismic, with national outlets like the Associated Press confirming that this was the highest average ticket price ever recorded for a basketball game across any level, men's or women's college.
They were all gone before general sale to the public even started. Clark and the Indiana Fever are returning to the University of Iowa for a WNBA preseason game against the Brazilian national team. That game is on May 4th.
Let's look at the receipts. Since Clark moved to Indiana, the team's ticket prices have changed so drastically that they would make Wall Street cry for road games this season. The average went from $171 to $272, a 59% increase. In the real world, that kind of increase prompts regulators to step in at home, and it's even more outrageous, going from $92 to $197, more than doubling. This isn't a bump, it's a boom. Clark isn't just the most important player on the court anymore. She may be the most financially essential athlete in pro basketball today.
A lot of people say that Caitlin Clark moves the needle. That is wrong. She is the needle. She dictates. We all know what she's done on the floor. It's history, right? But off the floor, my goodness.
However, this change isn't coincidental. The Indiana Fever didn't just sign Clark and throw her to the wolves. Instead, they built around her, imagining it as creating the ideal laboratory for basketball innovation with Clark as the mad scientist. This isn't about potential anymore. Rather, it's about dominance. Enter Sophie Cunningham, who isn't just a shrewd vet. She is basketball royalty herself, and her choice to join the Fever was a public declaration of faith in Clark's superstardom.
Sophie Cunningham is pumped to play with Caitlin Clark, even comparing her new teammate to a WNBA legend.
In addition to praising her, she likened her to a younger Diana Taurasi. Yes, that Taurasi with the rings, medals, and granite heritage. Cunningham claimed that Clark's floor IQ and ball distribution resembled Diana Taurasi at her best, but she was more flamboyant, spicier, and somehow even more dangerous.
I think anytime you play with the GOAT of our team, or the GOAT of our game, you're going to learn a lot. You know, you have to be ready for the ball, head on a swivel at all times. And the way that she throws the ball is a lot how DT threw it. I think this is just the younger version of her, so she has a little bit more energy, a little bit more spunk. I miss DT in her prime, but it doesn't mean she wasn't great when I played with her. But honestly, at the end of the day, everybody can shoot, right? If you're cutting and you're open, you're going to get the ball. And so you just have to be ready for that. And I'm excited for that. And I think you'll see 1 through 5 is interchangeable. And so you'll see the 5 bring the ball down. So it's going to be a little different for other teams to play defense against us.
However, Dana Bonner, one of the few defenders who even somewhat slowed Clark down last season, joined Sophie as the first domino.
How she felt the team was gelling and how she felt about the addition of DeWanna Bonner. She basically said that when she talks, people listen. And she kind of wants to win it all for her. Here it is.
GB's been tremendous, and obviously, you know, not only as a leader, she's a tremendous basketball player too, and she's won championships. She knows what it is. So when she speaks, everybody listens. So I think that was a piece of the thing we were missing last year. It's we didn't really have that inside of our locker room. So just really grateful for that, and you know, just the way she talks and she leads. For me as a second-year point guard, I want to win for her. This is the end of her career. She deserves.
They added Brianna Turner, Natasha Howard, and Aaliyah Boston to the lineup to increase their firepower. Kelsey Mitchell and Lexi Hull. This is a rebellion and counterattack against the league's established powerhouses, not a roster. Indiana is currently in competition status after bypassing the rebuild phase.
Everything is just absolutely new. It feels really good. It feels fresh. It's kind of like when you take your clothes out the dryer, kind of like fresh. It feels different, and it feels good because we have new leadership, we got new players, we got vet leadership, and so I think all that combined just makes for a good atmosphere right now. It feels good.
How does that help you guys elevate even more for the players who are returning?
It makes it easier. I remember this time last year, it didn't feel good. So we had to get that in order for people to start playing well. It's like the domino effect. But I think once your culture is kind of established, how you guys see it now, I think it makes everything else outweigh.
And the sports books concur that, according to DraftKings, the Fever are equal for second place with Indiana at plus 350, while Boulder is fourth in title odds at plus 380 FanDuel. If you're betting on this league, it's time to start using dollar signs to spell Clark. This isn't a Cinderella story. Rather, it's a squad that knows it belongs at the table, kicking open the front door.
These are in Indiana. They were at the Pacers game, tossing out shirts with the rest of the team. So hot off the presses, the Indiana Fever have dropped a workout video, which has Bree Hall, it has Yvonne Ejim, and it has Michaela Timpson showing off their stuff with Kate.
Oh, and did we mention the merchandise? Clark's jersey, was the WNBA's top seller the previous season, and pundits anticipate that she will surpass her second best-selling jersey in WNBA history before the conclusion of her second season. Additionally, the Fever are witnessing a surge in merchandise, including hats, posters, and bobbleheads. Every time Clark appears at another arena, it turns into a fundraiser for the opposing team. She is more than simply a player. She is a walking stimulus package.
The next team, as we go through our WNBA preview, is the team that I know many of you are fascinated by. It's the team that I don't know what the odds are in the sports books up there in North Carolina, Mitch, but certainly nationally, the conversation when it comes to the WNBA surrounds the Indiana Fever, the second season of Caitlin Clark in the W, and how this team that's been retooled with a new coach, they've brought in some veteran players. You can make the argument they're in win now mode, combined with that young core that they still have predominantly on rookie contracts.
We should go back in time. The Fever finished the previous season with just 20 wins and an early exit. It was a respectable performance, but nothing particularly noteworthy. And now they are being discussed as potential title candidates. Caitlin is responsible for making Indiana the WNBA's must-watch franchise. It wasn't a coaching change or trade. Every game is sold out, every venue seems like home, and every statistic further confirms that we are witnessing the next generation of basketball's cornerstone. This is a cultural event, not simply a basketball game. A button to reset, whether it's shattering attendance records or attracting ESPN cameras to preseason games. Caitlin Clark is redefining what it means to be the face of a league by refusing to fit into the league's traditional mold and creating something completely different.
The Indiana Fever are taking no prisoners this season, and they have just launched their new marketing campaign with the tagline, "Now You Know."
The front office of the Indiana Fever didn't just pick Caitlin Clark and call it a day. They went all out. This isn't just a roster move, it's a franchise reboot, and they're not playing coy with one of the most daring marketing campaigns the WNBA has ever seen. Indiana is making it very clear that they're not requesting attention. Rather, they're demanding it. Let's face it, if you're still using dial-up or willfully ignoring reality, this is more than simply a catchphrase. It's a statement that the Fever has escalated and that smoke signals are being sent from the summit of the mountain.
I saw this thread on Twitter. I was shocked by it. I was pleasantly shocked and surprised. I thought it was so cool and so savage.
The trailer began with a message that didn't whisper, but rather yelled, "We're not here to chase greatness, we're here to claim it." It was so polished that it might have passed for a Nike commercial. The trailer didn't just hype the fans. It also warned everyone else. This wasn't just a feel-good fan video. It was a verbal smackdown directed directly at the critics, skeptics, and every salty hater who minimized what Clark and the Fever did last year. It was a visual flex that landed like a mic drop in Madison Square Garden. The whole Now You Know promotion revolves upon the Fever, who are the main event rather than the undercard. The indisputable truth: our road games sound like home games because our fans don't ask for permission to dominate. And if you've seen the scenes from last season, you know it's true that opposing arenas weren't just packed. They were invaded by Clark Nation. Caitlin Clark has made every basketball game into a traveling Indiana Fever takeover, and it doesn't matter if Clark fans show up like it's a Taylor Swift stadium tour. The trailer plays into that reality with a line that's equal parts swagger and statistical fact.
Now, what I also think is hilarious is that they took that a step further. So if you go to the team store, the Indiana Fever's team store, you will see that they have a brand new t-shirt that they are selling. And that t-shirt says, "Every game is a home game." And then on the back, it says, "Now You Know," with a sold out banner with all of their basically schedule. It's like a tour t-shirt, and it says every game is a home.
Road domination is quantifiable chaos rather than hype. It was like the Beatles touring in sneakers and headbands. And guess what year 2 is doubling down on that mania? The Fever hasn't broken, it's spreading. Opponent teams literally had to call in backup, moving games to larger venues just to handle the surge of fans desperate to catch a glimpse of Caitlin. The entire city's economies were likely impacted, hotels were booked up, parking lots overflowed, and scalpers wept with joy.
And here we have today, basically clapping back at all of that and proving that they know that they are the moment, they are the Showtime team, they are the biggest team currently in the WNBA. This kind of stuff is not only good for the Indiana Fever, it's good for the entire WNBA.
And Indiana isn't just following the trend, they're branding it. The team unveiled new campaign-related stuff, and it's selling like pancakes at a conference. One outstanding item is a tour style. Every home game is prominently displayed on a red t-shirt. It's not just merchandise, it's a movement. The shirt might as well include a map of all the rival arenas that the Clark cult has taken over. The trailer images are as memorable. One particularly striking image depicts Caitlin Clark lounging in a cinema theater with a wall of fans of Burning Up Fever. The camera focuses on a shirt that says, "They not like us." It's a warning sign that the Fever aren't just a team anymore. They're a lifestyle brand with a highlight reel. And that one shot perfectly captured the entire campaign. Calm, confident, unconcerned, and louder than the naysayers ever were.
Things like this, if you're an Indiana Fever fan, you get super excited about something like this. If you're not an Indiana Fever fan, if you're, say, a New York Liberty fan or a Las Vegas Aces fan, this riles you up even more. So when you are going to these games where they are playing against the Indiana Fever, you are going to be more excited, more just amped up to see this. There are more rivalries, and the competitive nature of these games are heightened because of little things like this.
Here's the twist, though. This campaign benefits the whole WNBA, not just Indiana, as everyone else steps up when the Fever raises the stakes. Matchups that used to be buried become headline events, and teams like the Aces and Liberty aren't just rivals. They're co-stars in what seems like. It's not just marketing, it's momentum, and the league has taken notice and acted swiftly to capitalize on Clark's stardom. This year, an incredible 40, one of the Fever's 44 games, will be nationally televised. It's like a Hollywood rivalry plot, with electrifying storylines, contagious energy, and fans turning out in record numbers to watch how it all unfolds. Even though the Lakers only had 39 games on national TV, 93% of Indiana's games air during prime time. This is another record that confirms what we already know. Not only is Caitlin Clark altering our perception of the WNBA, but she is also altering who watches it.